Minister, I wanted to ask you if your attention had been drawn to the reports we've seen lately of sex for rent cases being reported in the media, particularly by a journalist in the Examiner, Anne Murphy, and if specific legislation or measures to address this crime, if it is a crime. I'm not sure that it is, I don't know. I'd like clarification on that, if you're considering measures to address that. Thank you, Minister.
Firstly, just to say I am aware of the reports of the nature referred to by the Deputy, and just to assure you that this matter has been taken very seriously and it is under consideration by the Government. I can't imagine the level of distress that somebody must feel, particularly a tenant where somebody is in a vulnerable position or where somebody is living on their own, where they find themselves not being able to pay their rent, and then on top of that find themselves being propositioned or put into a very difficult situation where they perhaps I don't know, feel they might have any option, or where obviously it leaves them with very little options, but to leave and to become homeless, or for that to have further consequences as well. It's very upsetting to even think about it, and obviously the fact that this is happening where people are already tenants, but where you have advertisements where people are not saying it explicitly, but where they are referencing exactly what it is that they are willing to do for a reduced rate. Any type of behaviour like this by landlords seeking to use their position to prey on vulnerable people, it's completely unacceptable. It can't be tolerated. It's an appalling abuse of power by people with really unscrupulous morals, shall I say. You'll be aware maybe that myself and my colleague, the Minister for Housing, Darragh O'Brien, were receiving advice from the Attorney-General on this at the moment. Subject to both of our departments, we're considering how we can take on board that advice and how we can go from here to try and address this issue. We look at all of the potential elements involved here. Firstly, the fact that we have policy of discrimination relating to such advertisements. So we will engage with the relevant departments to consider all possible avenues to address this unacceptable behaviour. We're completely committed as a government to preventing and addressing sexual abuse and gender-based violence in all of its forms, and it's important for me to say that the laws surrounding sexual offences have been significantly strengthened in recent years, including the introduction of the Criminal Law Sexual Offences Act, which is only back in 2017. The legislation now makes it abundantly clear that consent must be freely and voluntarily given. In other words, submission when a person feels forced or has no other choice is not the same as consent. We have to be clear on that. While the right approach to dealing with this issue needs to be fully considered, I can assure the Deputy that myself and my colleagues are looking at this. We plan to take action on this. It's complex, but we want to try and find a way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, and I think you covered it well, and it's morally reprehensible for someone to engage in this type of practice, to exploit somebody. We're all aware of the cost of rental out there, and we're aware of the pressures on people on rent. For someone to take advantage of that to try and exploit somebody, I think we need to take urgent action on this. I don't know how prevalent this is, but that it can exist at all, I think, is something that we need to address. And Minister, you'll be aware this came to us, it came to me as Chair of the Oireachtas Committee as a housing matter. We weren't then sure whether it was a justice matter or a matter that we would have to deal with through rental tenancies, and we referred it back to the Minister. So I would look forward to the updates that either yourself or Minister O'Brien receive on this from the AG, and that we act on this swiftly. Thank you.